Hi, and welcome to the second Assertiveness module. Today, we'll be looking into the characteristics and usage of assertiveness. We'll be looking into the backbone of assertiveness, which is, as in all communication, body language and tone of voice. And also, we'll be looking into how assertiveness can be used to reject demands, to ask for favors, how it generally looks in a normal conversation, and how it can be used to even express feelings in order to understand its general usage and when you should be applying it. So let's get to it. Just like every other part of communication, assertiveness begins not by what you say, but how you say it and what your body says while your mouth moves. First and foremost, you need to maintain direct eye contact with the other person, as that is able to give you the ability to appear sincere and that you're attending to what the other person is saying without being fearful of their reaction and being confident in what you say and in what you want to bring forward to the table. Another important aspect is to have a calm tone of voice. It's not necessarily good, or ever good really, to sound or appear angry. It's very beneficial that you remain calm, and in that way not only do you appear more confident, but you are also able to bring the other person who might be showing signs of anger and be able to bring them down. And apart from that, as final parts of the non-verbal cues, you need to have an open body language. Your feet should be well positioned in the ground, ideally shoulder width apart, and you should have open shoulders and back in order to be able to reveal to the other person that you're both confident and you're also open to what they have to say. Now let's get into the usage. So the first use of assertiveness is to be able to reject demands. First and foremost, we need to be able to be assertive when we say no. We do that by outlining the reasons for why we are negating what the other person is saying or is asking of us. We give explanations, but not excuses, and we're very specific about what it is that we are doing. If we are not sorry for the reason we're saying no, then it is not necessarily good to apologize unless we've actually done something wrong. So let's say that a client calls and demands that they have an appointment with you over the next 2 days, but that's impossible. What you would do is you will calmly say, I am not able to fulfill your request. However, we're going to be looking to fill you up in the next possible appointment, and we hope to be able to fulfill your expectations when we actually look at the calendar and come back to you with viable options. We're not going to be able to, however, fulfill the request for an appointment over the next 48 hours. That is a firm and very direct way to assert your position without sounding either aggressive or apologizing to the other person, which is not going to do any good in your ability to have long-term conversations with either clients or colleagues. Now, we need to be aware of how assertiveness looks like generally within conversation. When we need to say something that is rather uncomfortable or present a situation to someone that we might feel like is going to cause some emotional response, we need to be aware of the general circumstances that surround the conversation and be able to deliver our message as clearly and easily as possible. In order to do that, there are some things that we need to keep in mind when we have such conversations. So we need to pick the right time and place to have a conversation in which we try to assert a certain position or a certain set of facts that has come to our attention. Secondly, we should be clearly stating the purpose of the conversation from early on when we're talking to a person like that, and to try to maintain the communication as bidirectional as possible, whilst also trying to listen to what the other person is trying to say, whilst we are also presenting with our case. So for example, let's say we are calling up a patient to talk about the fact that they have not been following up with us as we have asked them to. We begin the conversation by choosing a time and place, perhaps right after food, where perhaps they feel comfortable, and in a private space where we're not exposing their behavior to another bigger group, which would make them self-conscious. And we talk to them in a calm, directed way, stating the issue of the conversation. So for example, we begin by saying, this conversation is about the fact that you have failed to meet the last 3 appointments that we have scheduled today together. In order to be able to move on from this, I will need you to tell me what you need in order to be able to fulfill your commitments to what we agree. If not, this is creating a problematic nature in our therapeutic relationship or in our ability to provide a good plan for you. In this way, we are giving them both the chance to speak up and to tell us if there is anything that concerns them. We're able to not put them on the spot in front of others. However, we're able to directly deliver the message to them in a calm and understandable way so that they do not have to question either our intentions or our ability to understand the situation, and hence keep us as social workers in a position where we can be continuously delivering good care and a good plan of action towards patients and clients accordingly. Assertiveness can also be used to express your own feelings. In order to do that, the one key that you should keep in mind is that when you talk about feelings or opinions or something that has to do with you use the word I. And that's where it's actually powerful. And it doesn't need to necessarily sound objective, because it's not. It has to do with your feelings, your wants, your opinions. So for example, if we take the scenario where you're talking to a patient that has missed multiple appointments, you might say, if needed, your own feelings in how they have resulted from that situation. So for example, I felt very disappointed when you had suggested you were going to do X and instead you did Y, because I felt like we had a common understanding of that situation when we last spoke. And I would like to know what has happened ever since, or what has elapsed that has caused this. By being able to showcase your feelings, you're able to essentially not only maintain a rapport with the other person, but oftentimes when the other person does not seem to be persuaded over why they should be taking a specific action, then your own feelings and your ability to calmly but very accurately express them is a very key tool in being assertive within a conversation. So, in this part, we've looked at the backbone of assertiveness as a behavior, in that it relies on the exact same cues that general communication is founded upon, which is a calm tone of voice, an open body language, and direct eye contact when possible, in order to be able to maintain rapport and respect between the two parties involved. Within this part, we've also looked at the usage of assertiveness in rejecting demands when we need to, asking for favors, how it looks like in conversation, and finally, how it can help us express our feelings as a technique to be able to assert our position and to seek out for what we want within a conversation.